Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, which means it's time for another Gemcutting Conversations. My name is Justin K. Prim. I'm going to be your host tonight, and I want to thank everybody for being here. We have now been, 3, 4, 5. This is our 7th month with this series, and for many of you guys, I know you've been here this whole time joining us, hearing these interesting conversations, these interesting stories from different gem cutters around the world. I'm very excited. Tonight, we're going to be talking to Kaneel Mathurata. Kaneel and I met, I guess it must have been a couple of years ago now, when I was in London. I was on a research grant doing research about the history of gem cutting in London. And I was trying to meet every single gem cutter in London. And I heard about one Sri Lankan guy, and I was like, okay, that's very interesting because there are no other Sri Lankan guys or even really Asian cutters in any way in London. It's mostly European cutters. So I was very curious to see who is this guy Kaneel, what is his story, and we got to meet up a couple of times and speak a little bit in his shop, and I'm very happy to have him here tonight. We're kind of digging even deeper into the gem trade, the cutting trade, and going further east, so to speak, away from kind of the American and European cutters that we've previously spoken to. As you can see, so many great conversations, but now I've definitely, as I have the chance, I would love to talk to more people from other areas of the world, other cutting industries, other cutting hubs. So tonight we'll learn a little bit about the world of Sri Lankan cutting and a little bit about Kaneel's story. How did he get to London? How did he learn to cut? All these interesting things that I really want to know, stuff I never even got to ask him in real life. So, Kaneel, if you're ready, come on in and we will get the party going. And I see we have our usual cast of interesting guests or interesting visitors today from all over the world. What's up, Kaneel? How you doing?
Yeah. Hi, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a while since we've gotten to see each other, but
Yes.
uh, I'm happy to be able to talk with you here today in Zoom.
Mhm.
Have you done much Zoom in the last year? Or I don't know if you're just busy cutting or
Yeah, I was busy with my cutting. Even I
yeah,
don't have time to do any new design or create things.
yeah,
I'm
okay.
very busy. Yeah.
Well, I think tonight should be pretty fun. We've had a lot of really good conversations in the last year, and I'm happy to have you today. So, I guess to get started, let's start with the basics. Who are you? And I guess where are you? Because we see a very interesting shop behind you. So maybe just tell us a little bit about who you are.
Uh, as you know, I'm a gemstone cutter, lapidarist. I started, I think, to 1984.
Okay. Wow.
Since now, I still learning. Sometimes still I'm learning.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I was in a start workshop in Sri Lanka. I
Okay.
think 1987 something. My first workshop
Okay.
called Kaneel and Laboratory,
Okay.
and then after it's come to Crystal Myth International Private Limited, and then I start in UK.
Okay.
It's a long story because I was in New York, and so I
Yeah.
learned a
Well,
lot
I
of
wanted, I
cutting.
wanted, to, I wanted to get into all these stories today, but I guess let's start at the beginning. How did you? So you were in Sri Lanka. Obviously, you're from Sri Lanka. You learned to cut in Sri Lanka. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Did you learn from another cutter, or are you self-taught?
No, I mean, at beginning I start like a helper, and then I start like cutting stone. And
Okay.
that time I had two good teachers, and they just little bit teach me,
Okay.
and it was interest, and then I continue until now.
Okay. And so what I was thinking about from when the last time we spoke, and just to kind of give our audience a little bit of background, so
Mm.
to understand a little bit of the story of cutting in Sri Lanka, you were really in 1984, you were really maybe one of the first generation of people in Sri Lanka to use the new types of machines, right?
Yes.
Because I know the story that I've been able to put together is before the 1980s, and it was a different story. It was a different kind of
Mm.
machine. Before they were using electric machines, they had the hand crank machine with like this very old fashioned kind of handpiece. And I think around 1980, 1979, 1980, the new machines came. And so I guess, yeah, 1984 would have been just a few years later.
Yeah, then at that time, I remember we start to cut a topaz. A lot of topaz market started 1918, 85 something.
Okay.
In treatment, heat
Yeah.
treatment, and then we start from topaz.
And so when you learned to cut, what part of the country were you in? What city?
I'm in Colombo, called Nugegoda.
Okay.
So we start over there. In my family, there is no anyone does gemstone or business. I
Okay.
just thought I want to
So you
start some
were the
kind of
first
job.
one. You were the first
Yeah,
person.
in my family, yeah.
Wow. So then whenever you wanted to do that, did you had to find a workshop to hire you, like to train you?
At the time, as soon as I finish my A level,
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something. So to do some work. Before my A-level results come, I found Crystal Laboratory in Maharagama.
Okay.
So I go and ask them to train the gem cutting. And that time there is no any course or gem cutting trainers. So they asked me to come as a helper.
Okay.
So I joined as a helper.
Okay.
At that time, I remember I got a 300 rupees, which is like a £2 something for a month.
For a month. Wow.
For a month, yeah, as
Oh
a
my gosh.
helper. That time I remember Crystal Gem. The owner name is Vijita Pereira.
Okay.
I'm really grateful for him to give opportunity to learn, because it changed my life.
Okay.
So then I start to gem cutting, and then then that's the first stage to 1984. 84. Before my LL results come, I joined as a helper, and then I slowly I learned gem cutting, and that's my start position.
Okay. So you must have been pretty young then. You had just finished school.
Yeah. Just
You,
school finish, yeah.
What, you were like, what, 17, 18 years old, something like that?
I think 19 something.
19. Okay.
No,
And so when you learned, they were already using the handpiece machine, right? Like
at that time,
the Imahashi
they
style.
start the Imahashi, Japanese system. They
Yeah.
introduce Japanese machine. At that time, we didn't have any. No, there is a duplicate machine also, but we import. There's one company called Unique Gem. They import Imahashi original machine.
Okay.
And we start Imahashi machine.
Okay.
As a beginning.
So the one you actually learned on, it was a Japanese one, like original Japanese one.
Original Japanese one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so how did the training work? I mean, was it a formal apprenticeship, or were you just kind of learning as you go, watching?
No, I was in a helper, so I need to help for stone polishers.
Okay.
At the free time, we will go and watch how they cut in, and then sometime, when they free time, they will teach us.
Okay.
At the time, we learn about the cutting, and I was very interested because then that's the time I start.
Okay.
Not only gem cutting, then after I collect some my wages and go and get some stone from Ratnapura, not Ratnapura, Palmadulla.
Yeah.
To be at that time, I didn't gem training course. Then after I done gem identification course
Okay.
and gave the heat treatment. I followed gave the heat treatment.
Okay. So you had a pretty good education then between gemology,
Yeah.
the heating, and the cutting.
Yeah.
Wow.
When I start gem cutting, what I did, I thought I want to study more about the gems. Then I joined Gem Corporation. That time we called Gem Corporation. They
Okay.
do gem identification course,
Okay.
and I
Yeah,
joined with the Gem Corporation, and I followed gem identification course. After finish, then I have certificate here. Gem gave the
yeah.
heat treatment.
Yeah.
Then I followed gave the heat treatment. Even I did some mining also.
Oh, really? Wow. So you really tried a little bit of everything.
In a gem, I done all the part.
Yeah. That's kind of an interesting thing with Sri Lanka, right? Like, if you go a little bit outside of one, like if you're in the trading area and you just go a little bit outside, a few miles away, maybe you're going to find a small mine or a cutting factory. Like, there's so many things in Sri Lanka. Maybe there's a lot of
No, at that time,
options.
there's a lot of workshop because good for topaz market. That's a start topaz market. They do radiation for the topaz.
Okay.
And Matale, there's a good place we can find topaz.
Okay.
So we had a lot of topaz export in Sri Lanka.
Okay. And so you said you started your own workshop on what, like only 3 or 4 years after you started the training? Like you said 87, right?
80, no, I start 84.
Yeah, but your own shop.
No, I used to work in a crystal gem
Okay. Oh, I see.
crystal gem laboratory in Maharagama.
Okay. And
So
then
yeah,
how long did it take you before you felt like you really knew what you were doing? You understood cutting and polishing and preforming and all that stuff.
yeah, I learned basic knowledge from there. And then after I thought I want to start myself. Then I bought one Imahashi machine.
Okay.
Original Imahashi machine, and I start my own gem cutting workshop.
Was it just one person or you had a whole team?
At that, 2 person. First time myself and one of my friend, we both start at home.
Okay. And
That's the
then
first, yeah.
and then did it stay just 2 people or it got bigger? I mean, did it become a big company or?
Yeah. Afterward, I had 20 people used to work in my work. Yeah.
Wow. And so I think if I know correctly, at this time, this is like starting to be into the 90s, right? Early 90s. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then if I know correctly, you were starting to work with Yavorsky a little bit at this time too, right? He was like
No, I didn't get you.
In the early 90s, you were starting to work with Yavorsky as well for the cutting. Vlad?
Say again?
Yavorsky.
You mean the Russian?
Yeah.
No, I think 2000, 97 something.
Okay.
97.
So your company's growing bigger and bigger, and then how did you start working with him?
They came to Sri Lanka and they find good workshop, and they choose me, and we start in my workshop, and they supervise my workshop every day.
Okay.
And we did some new create design, and I learned a lot from Russian and Ukraine.
Okay.
I learn Russian cutting and Ukraine cutting.
Okay.
Because they always come to supervise.
Okay. So when you started to work with those guys, the Russian guys and Ukrainian guys, what was the difference? What was different about their cutting?
That cutting mean that's they do perfect cutting, which is very important. Because in Sri Lankan mind, or a lot of stone polishers, they think just polish the stone, that's enough, but it's not enough. We have to be a facet meeting, polishing. They have to be a perfect, It's not like a handmade cutting those days. Just they put some facet but it can't, now all the customers, they're looking for proper cutting and luster. So that's how I learned to get the maximum luster from the stone.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So at that time, I'm just trying to wonder, like, when the new machines came in, like early 80s, and people, maybe the Sri Lankans weren't used to angles yet, right? Like, because on the old machines there was no angles. So when you were learning how to cut, did your teachers already have an idea about, like, certain stone needs to go at this angle, certain stones needs to go at this angle, or they just cut it to make the biggest stone?
They cut as a bigger stone. Afterward, we learn. I learned myself, how we had to be a angle for sapphires, angle for quartz. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at that time, people, they just cut in because they just cut topaz. They don't care about angle or something. But
yeah,
I learned myself. I studied a lot of things myself.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so I think around this time also, you were working with my friend Sarath, right?
The Sarath.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to work in my yeah.
Okay. So he was working.
He knows. Yeah.
So how long did you and Sarath work together?
I think more than 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Wow. Because I know
until I remember 2003. Until 2003, they used to work in my workshop. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I left 2003 from Sri Lanka. At that time, we had a civil war, and gem market is going down. Okay. Then I thought I want to go and find a good place to start the workshop.
Yeah, and I think maybe that must have been around the time he went to Bangkok, because then, or maybe
after 2003.
Yeah.
After 2003, yeah.
Yeah. So then, and then I met him, like, I guess almost 15 years later, and then he and I were working together at the IGT school. So that's quite interesting. When I met you, and then I talked to Sarath, I said, "Oh, I met another Sri Lankan guy." He said, "Oh, I used to know that guy. We used to work together in the factory." So I was like, "Wow, okay, very very small world." So okay, so you left Sri Lanka then. So you're a gem cutter on the road. Where did you go? What did you think to do?
Until 2000, I remember I used to work in a KIG International in New York. There's a company called KIG.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to work there 1999, like 2000 also. I used to work over there.
Okay. So how did you know those guys? How did you get to New York?
When I go to an exhibition, then I moved to New York and find out gem market. At that time, I got a good offer. Okay. And then I used to work few years, maybe 1.5 years.
Okay. And so that's interesting, because suddenly you're like a Sri Lankan cutter in New York. Did you meet many other cutters there, or were there other cutters in New York at that time?
There is a good market for stone polisher, and there is a lot of laboratory. It's not like London. There is a few laboratories. Yeah. But I had a good offer over there. Okay. Even there, they do cutting, but they don't know how to, keep the weight and valuable stones. Yeah. Because I did a lot of valuable stone over there. They were interested, and I was a little bit popular. And they got I got offer $500 for a week, but then I thought I don't want. Then I came back to Sri Lanka and start my workshop again. Okay, so you didn't want to stay in New York. It wasn't a good place. No, it's a good place, but I didn't want to stay because it's too snowy. The climate is not good for me. I feel that's you. Yeah. I moved. I lived there a little while too, and I agree. It wasn't for me. Yeah, it's too much. Yeah, the winter not too good. Wind, yeah. Yeah, but okay. So you left New York. You went back to Sri Lanka. The political situation was a little bit better at that time, I think, right? It had gotten a little bit better. Not really. Somehow, 2000. I remember before 9/11. 2001. I left New York and I came back to Sri Lanka, and I start again in Sri Lanka. Then after 2003, I came to London.
Okay. So what was the reason to move to London? Was it more because of the political situation, or you just wanted to do something different?
No, I know laboratory in New York. Then I thought I want to come and look here.
Okay.
Then I compare with the New York and London.
Okay.
But here there is not much work laboratory,
Okay.
and all the different cutting or difficult work they all go Japan, German. There is no good stone polishers here.
Okay. So you're thinking maybe you could get some good work in London.
Then I thought I want to start. Yeah, then I start here. Now I have a lot of customer who used to go German to get the new design. So now they don't want, they come to me.
Okay, that's easier. Then they can just, they don't have to go, they don't have to send the stones away. They can just come see you.
Yeah.
Interesting. And so I know that there's a good, you told me before when I met you that you have a pretty good story about how you came to London, how you got your, because the visa in London, I know I tried to do this as well. Getting the visa in London is very hard. Getting being able to stay legally is, for me, it was not possible. But so tell us the story, because I know you had a good story about how did you do that?
Yeah, I came here and I start my workshop. And then after I finished my visa and then I want to renew, they said, no, you can't, because I had to go back to Sri Lanka. Then I did my advanced cutter, which is only few people here. Then I showed to immigration people there is not much stone polisher here, like my scale. And then they appreciate and they say, okay, you can carry on here. Then I settled here.
Well, because I know in the UK, they're very specific about, you know, if there's already somebody in the country that can do that job, they don't want anybody coming in, like immigrants coming in, right? Like since you were the only gem cutter, then there was like a special exception, right?
You mean?
Well, I just mean, yeah, because you have to basically prove to them, don't you, that
yeah, I had to prove. That's why I did my advanced cutter certificate.
Yeah, because you told me before, right? You had to basically do a cutting competition in order to get a paper from the UK Facet Cutters Guild to prove that you were like an advanced cutter.
Yeah, so then that's why I done competition, and then I got the advanced cutter certificate. That helped me to get the proof to immigration, to show them how I'm valuable here.
So this is, to me, this is amazing, because suddenly like the competition is almost enabling you to get your visa. I don't think anybody ever thought about this before. Like winning a competition or doing good in the cutting competition could actually get somebody a visa. And it did for you, or helped.
It doesn't help. You mean
to prove your quality?
That's the proof. Yeah, that's the proof. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. I never heard anybody ever try to do something like that before with the cutting competition. So that's funny. So maybe okay. So you opened up your studio in London. Is this the studio that you're still in, or you had a different studio before?
Before I have a small studio, and then now this is my studio.
Okay. And so for anybody who doesn't know, you're like right on the high street of Hatton Garden, right? You're in the main like the main center of the gym neighborhood.
Hatton Garden. Yeah.
Because I remember when I was walking around Hatton Garden for a few months, and I could see your sign up in the window. You're on the second floor, right? And I saw that Crystal Myths, and I was like, and what does it say? Gem cutting or lapidary or something? And I was like, there's a guy up there. Someone told me about that guy. I gotta go meet him. So then I came up. But okay, so maybe show us a little bit around your studio. Let's see. I love in the conversations to just see the gear people are using, especially if you're professionally cutting for customers. What kinds of gear do you need, or what do you have in there?
And I take this one. Yeah, you want me to show?
And
let me.
I think you can press, there's a button, you can flip your camera around and use the other camera. Maybe if you click your face. Yeah, there you go. There you go. No, that worked. Yeah, do that again. And then you'll use the other side. Yeah, cool. Perfect.
Can you see now?
Yeah, I can see, but your hand is in the way. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So yeah, now we're seeing out of the other camera, the back camera. So I see your computer.
Okay. That okay.
Now I see you.
All right. Okay. So can I put a back camera?
Yeah, I think it's easier that way, right?
Yeah, easier. Okay.
Okay.
So I can see this. You can see my polishing wheel.
So yeah, you got a whole collection. So you're using different cutting laps.
Yeah, I got this. This is for emerald. No, this is for tin lap. This is copper lap, plastic lap. Again, tin lap. This is for emerald.
Okay.
Skyway lap. This is very good for emerald.
Okay.
And this one for emerald again. I got a zinc lap, plastic lap, those kind of lap, different material.
Yeah. And so are you usually cutting mostly what, sapphires or any type of stone, every stone?
Any type of stone.
Okay. So it can be precious, semi-precious, anything. It doesn't matter.
Anything, yeah.
Okay. And so it looks like you have a few different machines, right? What are the machines that you have?
I got here sewing machine and grinding machine.
Okay, over there, yeah, in this corner.
Yeah, and here cutting machine. And
Okay.
same this one cutting machine. And
So
then we got a cutting machine here.
you use the different machines for different reasons, or you just have many?
No, I mean this is a little bit up than flow level, because
Okay.
sometimes I need to know how much grind,
Yeah.
to keep the weight.
Okay.
So this is the workshop. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you got a few different machines. Some,
Yeah.
so it looks like some of them are Sri Lankan, some of them are Japanese.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
This is the facetter.
Yeah.
You use hand facetter.
And so what do you think, if you're using both the Japanese one and the Sri Lankan one, are they different, or are they pretty much
yeah, this is original Imashi machine with the cheater.
Okay. And
so
that one has
it has a good, yeah, it's not that heavy.
Okay.
So this is the original Imashi machine.
Okay. Cool.
And this is assembled from Sri Lanka.
And this one is from Parlita, right?
Parlita, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Parlita.
So yeah, these are
That's
the
a good machine.
Yeah, these are the same ones that I use as well. So that's good.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So then you can do everything. You're doing preforming, cutting, polishing, and even sawing if you have to do the sawing.
Yeah.
So then, okay. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good tour. And then I think what people can't see on the other side is kind of the storefront, right? You have like a little display with the gemstones and your certificates and everything like that.
Yeah, I got some.
So then if people walk into your shop, they're not seeing the back, they're seeing this part where they can see all your stones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So
these are some cutting.
Okay, cool. So these are ones you've been working on lately, or just ones you've collected? You got some big ones there.
Yeah, this is green topaz. These are some of my cutting.
Okay, and somebody in the audience, they asked you, do you do jewelry as well, or just the gem cutting?
No, just gem cutting.
Okay, because somebody said they saw like a rotary tool, like a flexi shaft or something, like a spinning thing on the wall.
Say again?
Somewhere on the wall, there's like a flexi shaft, like a yeah, I see it, that red thing hanging up in the back. What do you use that for? For carving stuff?
Yeah, some carving stuff.
Okay, okay. Oh, then also maybe wait, show us one more, because I see you have the Hanapura up there. Maybe tell us a little bit about that one.
You want to see Hana for 1 minute,
Yeah,
please?
because maybe people never saw the old Sri Lanka, or it's not even the old one. They still use it, but this very traditional Sri Lankan machine. So I remember the first time I went to Sri Lanka and I saw many people using this. They just sit
Yeah,
on the floor, right? Oh yeah, you
this
can
is
see how the guy. So basically, this is how people are doing star sapphires and star rubies and preforming.
preforming. Yeah, still some people they use the same machine.
Yeah, and so basically you sit on the floor and you have to you have the bow in your hand. So one hand is doing the bow to make the lap go forward and backwards, and then the other hand's holding the stone and basically
Yeah.
shaping it with your finger. So this is amazing. I want to get that too for my collection. When I see people using that, I'm just so impressed. I remember one time I was there and there was a guy with the Hanapura and then the guy with the handpiece machine, and they were giving stones back and forth, like he was cutting them and then the other guy was polishing them, or I don't know, something.
Or maybe yeah, the Hanapur you can make a free form.
Yeah, okay. So he's
Yeah,
preforming
yeah.
and then giving it to the cutter and then he's
Cutter,
docking it.
yeah. Main thing, freeform is yeah, when you start freeform is very important to save the weight and get the color of the stone and
Yeah,
rid of the some crack and things.
yeah.
So
So
that's why they use Hanaporu.
okay. So yeah, this is how they're doing fine control for the preform and stuff because it's no motor, so
Yeah.
it's just whatever speed you do the bow, right?
Mm.
Okay, another person in the audience asked, "Do you don't have any mast machine like an American machine? Like you never tried to use this one?
No,
Never learned it.
no. I used to have this one, which is good for me.
So that one's good for you. Yeah, I agree. I like that one too. So so what did you think coming from Sri Lanka to New York to London? How is it different? I mean, what's the difference for you as far as customers and work?
Uh, I'm happy here because there is a lot of new designs. Young people they start to do new design jewelry,
Hmm.
and then according to the design, we need to make the stone is to cut, which is really difficult. Some design.
Okay.
So I help a lot of new designers in
Okay.
here.
Because you're talking about jewelers, right? They're coming in with some very strange jewelry that they want
Yeah,
they need to
yeah.
fit. Okay.
They create bespoke jewelry.
Yeah.
One of the jewelry, so like a new design. So some design is difficult to get the normal stone.
Okay.
So
So
we need to cut the
they need to
particular
make custom stones.
shape. Yeah.
Okay. And so so how is it different in Sri Lanka when you were cutting there? Who was the customer at that point?
In Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
yeah, Sri Lanka, there is no new design or something, just regular cutting.
Okay, just the kind of commercial standard.
Commercial standard, yeah.
So, ovals, rounds, emerald cuts.
Yeah, but in London, you can get every day different style pattern of cutting
Okay.
and challenge job.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And so do you also cut your own stones, or you only cut the stones for the customers?
At the moment, honestly, I'm very busy. I don't have time to cut my stone, but sometimes I cut my stone.
Yeah.
These days, I have a chance to cut because of pandemic. I have a bit more time now. I cut last week 1 tanzanite for
Okay.
my stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for you, is being in London like very advantageous since there's so many jewelers around and different customers that need stones? Does having the stock of stones, is that very helpful for you? So if people need to come in and buy something like in the last minute or something, if you have it, this is good for you?
Mm, yeah, I do supply some stones also.
Okay. But so is most of your work though is custom work? It's for the doing custom stuff for the jewels, or are you doing repair work as well?
I do some repair works as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how does that work? They give you the gem, or they give you the whole piece of jewelry, or they take the stone out first?
Repair job mean some old jewelry we need to repolish, or some they chip the stones,
Okay.
and we have to repolish, and we have to rid of the chips and cut together. That's a challenge, because some damage, if you recut, you can't use for the same amount, but you have to be clever to keep the same size
Yeah.
to go same amount.
Yeah. Because otherwise it won't go back in the jewelry, right? And then
Yeah, so
can't
they
use
can't
it.
use for the same amount.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how does it work if you're doing a repair? I mean, do people ever want you to improve the stone, change the angles at the same time to try to close a window or anything like that?
Yeah, some valuable stones they do like a all cut, which is if you do nice faceting and according to material, you can get a good luster.
Okay.
Using a little bit weight material,
Yeah.
and you can make a double of the value of the stone.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
is did you learn how to do the repair work from when you were just starting, or is this something that you had to learn along the way? Something that you learned later?
A lot of repair. I when I used to work in New York, I learned from there to do the repair work, because they got a lot of repair job
Okay.
in New York.
Okay.
So there is a Brazilian guy called Kunufa. He's the boss of KIG laboratory in 47th Street, and then there I learned a lot of repair jobs.
Cool. Yeah, because I imagine in Sri Lanka there's probably not that much repair work, because most of the stuff
No,
is
Sri Lanka,
coming
not at all, not at all. They
okay
do just cutting.
from everything's from rough, because they have mines
Yeah,
and
everything bomb drop. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So that must have been interesting. So when you went to New York, did you have to learn that from someone else, or you just figured it out on your own?
No, I work in that shop. Then I learned from Kunufa how to do some repair. Then I learned from him.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. You're using the Sri Lankan machine, but I know I don't know if everybody here knows, but the Sri Lankan machine is quite compatible with the American machines. You can use the same index, 96 or 64. So you could also use the same kind of faceting diagrams that some American cutters use. Do you ever use the diagrams, or you only just cut from the stone? Cut from the
No, I need to know the diagram, but I'm freehand, so I can use the same time I can use my own angle to get the good luster.
Yeah. Okay.
Valuable stones you can't follow the exactly diagram, because valuable stone you have to keep mainly you have to keep the weight, not like belly, but still you need to keep the color and weight.
Yeah.
So that time you have to be a freehand. You can reach the facet.
Okay. So I always wondered this, coming from Sri Lanka, a place that's, full of sapphires, do you think the Sri Lankan cutters typically learn how to manipulate the color better than maybe someone from another place, because you guys are seeing so many sapphires and color zoning, and, you get more experience that way?
Yeah, in Sri Lanka they have a lot of to get the color and how to get the mainly color. They know how to freeform. Yeah,
Okay.
in Sri Lanka we have a lot of sapphires, so that means you have to know how to get the color.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to study before start. You have to study. If you got a mistake, so you lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
So you should have to know how to freeform first.
Yeah. And so for you, since you did some gemology training in the Gem ID, did that help you in your cutting?
Yeah, of course. I advise, if you want to do gem cutting, you should know about the gem identification.
Mm-hmm.
Then you know value of the stone.
Yeah. Okay. And then you're gonna know, like, some stones have color zoning, some stones have cleavage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you know how to start particular stone.
So do you think, is there any stone that you cannot cut? You can cut
Second, please.
is there any type of stone that you can't cut or that you don't like to cut?
No, I cut any kind of color stone.
Yeah. Well, I know here in Thailand, when sometimes kunzite, I try to give kunzite to some of the Thai cutters, and they don't.
Yeah, it's difficult kunzite. This is the one of kunzite I cut.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
big one.
Yeah, big. Yeah.
Very nice, and it
Yeah.
looks like it has.
Kunzite, you have to know how to cut.
Yeah, that one's
You
even
can't
for
cut
me.
like a normal way.
Yeah, because it's a tricky one. Even for me, sometimes the stone just comes apart if you make a mistake. Yeah.
Mistake. Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, what about? Do you have a favorite? Is there any stones that you really like to cut?
I like blue sapphire because it's my birthstone. So,
Okay.
and I cut any kind of stones, but sapphires I'm interested. Any kind of sapphire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about emeralds? Because I know you said you have a couple laps just for the emeralds. Do you do a lot of emerald work?
Yeah, I do a lot of emerald here. Yeah.
Okay.
I can show you that lap. I got the this lap. This is Skyway lap.
Oh, Skyway. Okay, so these are coming from America.
Yeah, I found this lap. This is very good Skyway lap for polishing rather than green way lap. So this one chromium oxide.
Yeah.
But if you polish emerald with this lap, sometimes some part you can go inside the crack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So then that means if you go to laboratory check, they will give you a treat.
Okay, treatment. Yeah.
Treatment, because chromium can go lot of emerald. They have a cleavage. They can go inside of the cleavage.
Yeah.
Chromium.
So
then when we go to laboratory check, they will say it is treat.
Okay. So what do you like to use then?
Yeah, I use a Skyway lab.
Okay. So
this is much better than Greenway lab.
Okay. Are you putting some powder on it, or you just use it with water, only with water?
No, just water.
So, okay. So there's nothing to go inside the inside the.
No, yeah.
Interesting.
Even if you use diamond powder, it can go with the inside.
Yeah. Interesting. So I guess, yeah, as a cutter who's working with a lot of customer stones, this is one thing that you have to think about, right? If you make some powder go inside the emerald, maybe your customer is going to be mad at you, or you have to worry about this.
Yeah, of course, because if they go to certificate, definitely they will say it's a treat, because they can see some chromium inside of the stone.
Okay.
So you have to be carefully if it is valuable stone.
Yeah.
It just repair, it doesn't matter. But if you got a valuable emerald stones, you have to be clean.
Yeah, clean.
Otherwise, they will give you a minor rate or treatment stone, and which is value going down.
So somebody just asked, do you ever do Padparaja, or do you have any Padparaja that you've done, sapphires?
Yeah, I had a Padparaja I sold last week. I had one nice one.
Okay, you sold it. Okay, well that's good. So then let's change the direction a little bit. I'm just curious, because I've been speaking to some people in London over the last year, but what's it been like for you since the pandemic? As a gem cutter who obviously needs to cut stones all the time to pay the rent and everything, has business been okay for you in the last year since COVID?
It's okay, but there is not like before. But still, some new designers, they do at home, and they do need to get the stone cutting.
Okay. So then, do you see them in person, or are they just like sending you messages now?
No, they send by courier, and we allowed to workshop. Even lockdown, we can open workshop.
Okay. So that's good. So you can still work, but maybe just not too many people in the room or something like that.
Yeah, we can in workshop. We authorize to work.
Okay, interesting. Okay, well that's good then. So you haven't been too desperate or anything for jobs. Okay, somebody in the audience has asked, what do you think about precision cutting with the handpiece machine? Is it possible, or is this what you're doing?
You mean the handpiece?
Yeah, like you can do
The one I use?
yeah, like you can do really precision cutting.
Yes, because we can reach where we need to make the polish, or example, if you damage some stones,
Mm-hmm.
so if you got a free hand, you can reach where we need to polish, where the damage. So
Yeah, okay.
it's easy to fix the damage.
Okay. But I mean, as far as like getting the perfect meat points, perfect polish, is this something that you have to do for every stone, or for for the jewelry customers, are they a little bit more loose, relaxed?
Basically, facet meeting and polishing is important to get the luster. If you want to get a valuable stone,
Yeah.
to get the luster. At the same time, if you care about the meeting point, which is important to get the luster.
Okay. Okay. And so another question from the audience, they're asking, when you're doing the recut, if you make on the bottom of the stone, if you do small facets instead of big facets, is that going to make the stone darker or lighter?
Yeah, it depends on the color. So if you got a dark stone, you can't make a small facet.
Okay.
So you have to make a bigger facet, but it depends. You have to identify what kind of dark. Some blue sapphire, it has a dark, but we can get the luster.
Okay.
Some spinel dark, but even if we put a big facet, we can't get the luster.
Okay, because
so
the tone is too dark.
Yeah, you should know how darkness will appear on the stone.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
And
according to color band and darkness, we need to change the facet. Even some example, if you put a step facet, and at the same stone, if you put a flower cut, you can get the two different luster.
Yeah, it's like one can be more color, dark color. One can be a little bit brighter.
Right. So if you think you want to hide in some feathers, you have to get a more bright. Then you can hide in some feathers.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. I was always thinking maybe the small facets also can be good for hiding the inclusions because there's more sparkles on the bottom.
Yeah, if it is light color, yeah, you can do like that. Yeah.
Okay. And so for the this is something I always wondered, because this is something that we talk about here in Bangkok. For the customers in London, if you're doing, let's say, an oval or a cushion shape mixed cut, so the bottom is a step cut, do the London customers like the big facets better, or do they care?
No, it's my duty to get the maximum beautiful or maximum luster.
Okay.
So I should know which facet to apply for the stone.
Okay. So the customer they don't know, they don't care. They just have you do.
No, I mean they accept maximum value for the stone. So as a cutter, I should know to get the maximum luster, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they don't know. They need the maximum luster, or maximum beautiful of the stone. So some customers, they do need the weight. But when I explain them, if you lose little bit weight and you can get the double of the beautiful of the stone, so then they will agree.
Okay.
Because weight is not important, beautiful of the stone.
Yeah, I agree. I think most of us agree. But sometimes it's a compromise, right? You have to find the perfect balance between losing some weight.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just we cannot lose like a just cutting. No way.
Yeah. So okay, what do you think if you're doing a normal recut, not really a repair, but if you have to do a recut to improve the beauty, how much weight do you think you usually lose if you can make an average?
Average, we can use 12%.
12%.
Okay. Between it depends on the stone, but I can guess between 8% to 15%.
Okay. No, that's good. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
And then when you charge, do you charge per hour or per stone or per
Here per hour.
per hour? Okay. Yeah, because I know here it's per carat. In Thailand, it's per carat. So it's it's a little bit different in the way that we have to charge. But
Yeah, but here per hour we charge. But if it is valuable stones, it depends. It may both way.
okay. So yeah, if it's a really, really expensive stone, then there's a kind of a different price.
Different price. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because the risk is higher, the stress is higher.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I understand. I definitely understand. So,
Yeah.
what about emeralds in general? Is emeralds the same price as everything else, or you have a different price for emeralds?
No, bit more
Okay.
for them.
Yeah, me too. So I just wondered if everyone is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
One person asked, what kind of lighting do you use? Like, what lights do you use when you're cutting?
For light,
Yeah. You're
yeah,
using
I
like
use daylight, daylight, tube
okay.
light with
It's
the daylight,
it's a fluorescent?
fluorescent. Yeah.
Okay. And so when you're doing the recut, if you're, if you're recutting for beauty, how long does it usually take?
It's depend on the stone. If you get the 3 carat stone, if you want to get the luster, it depends. It's not particular time wise. We can't think about the time wise. We need to get the patient to get the good facet in.
But maybe if you have to recut the entire stone, crown and pavilion, does it take like one whole day or half a day, do you think?
Just one stone?
Yeah, just to get an idea.
Yeah, just like 2 hours, 3 hours for a stone.
Okay, yeah, good. Yeah, I just think maybe some people in the audience, we don't know. Maybe you're very, very fast, or maybe you take a long time. We don't know. So 3 hours, I think that's good though. That's good.
Yeah.
So okay, well, so maybe you sent me some pictures of some stones, so maybe we'll show them. We'll show everybody some of your work, and then you can tell us a little bit about some of the stones that you've worked on, or some of the ones that at least the ones that we've got photos for. So what are we looking at with this one? This is a recut, right?
Yeah, this one I cut. You can see one is like an open window, and there is no luster.
Yeah.
So I cut. I think I lose less than 1 carat. It was 11 carat something.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't remember how much weight wise, but I remember it not that much. But I repassed it, and customer was very happy.
Yeah,
it was one of my customers.
Well, yeah, you can see the whole middle now. The window is closed. There's much more color.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, and then so let's check out that another. What are these? These are.
This is my stone. 4 of them. Someone want to sell this 4 stone. I bought very cheap.
Okay, it's tourmaline.
Then after second.
It's tourmaline.
No, it's sapphire. Pink sapphire.
Oh wow. Okay.
Pink sapphire. I bought from someone here. Then I offer very cheap price because it's not it's not good stone. Then I had a chance to recut, and you can see the difference of the cutting. Now it's a saleable stone.
Yeah, I mean here you can see almost every stone. The whole middle is all window, everything windowed, and then now once you recut, and so it looks like you on these ones you're doing something like a sort of a princess cut on the bottom, like triangle facets.
Yeah, some radiant and princess cut, mixed cut, like a radiant and princess cut. Yeah, princess cut.
So when you're recutting, is there some cuts that you like to use all the time, or do you have some cuts that you always use? Like,
no, according to that stones, it's better. I have to know which shape we can save a lot of weight.
Okay.
So I thought if I go to octagon, it will be
good shape.
Yeah, good shape, and also I can meet the bottom.
Okay, so yeah, you're really having to look at every part of the stone and figure out what's going to work for it. Okay, so what's this one about?
This one lap plastic. Yeah, this is one of my designer. They do a lot of design.
So the outside is lapis?
Yeah, outside lapis. That's the piece I cut.
Okay, and then what's the inside? That's a sapphire?
Sapphire, yeah, sapphire. You can see both blues. it come beautiful color of the sapphire.
So did you do both stones, or you just did the lapis?
No, I repolished the middle stone as well, but mainly outside is the difficult one to cut and fit. Yeah.
And so how do you actually have to do it? You just have to measure everything and.
Yeah, every this take long time. I think I took more than half a day to cut.
Wow. And then so this is where your carving tools coming in, right? You're cutting the middle out with the engraver.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So but you're faceting it too. So it's faceted, it's carved, and it's very specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really cool. Okay, let's see. What do we have? What's this one all about?
Which one? I didn't see.
Oh,
still the same. Still the old one.
Hold on. Let me. I gotta click a button here. There's some strange problem sometimes with Zoom. Okay, can you see that one now?
Oh, that's yeah. I had cut all the emeralds.
So these are all, we can see they're all special shapes. Nothing is the same.
Yeah, every single stone different shape. You can't get a gap. You have to fix all the gap.
And so this really comes down to the preforming, right? You're having to make the specific shape. What's the process? You have to put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out, measure.
Measure, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you just make the outline shape perfect and then do the faceting, or does it all go together at the same time?
Not same time. I have to go one by one.
Okay. No, but I mean like the girdle and then the crown, or do you do the girdle first to make sure it fits and then do the faceting?
That's correct. Yeah. Then after I do the top side, and then after I have to check, and then after I go to bottom.
And then so the bottom side has to fit into the settings. So then,
yeah.
Maybe do you have to do a special angle to fit it in the hole, or does it already fit?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, you have to go a special angle because there is no much space in the bottom.
Wow. So this is a lot of work. How long does it take to do something like this where you have so many stones?
This one is take maybe 1 day or 2 days.
Wow, to do everything.
If it is emerald, it will take 2 days.
Wow, that's fast. That's a lot of stones.
Yeah, but
that's what
I can.
Like 20
for a beginning, when I came to London, it was really hard to do for beginning. But now I do this kind of lot of jobs.
Okay.
So now I'm comfortable.
Okay, so how long? I don't know if I asked this. How long have you been in London already? Almost 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I guess you've had a lot of time to get good at doing these kinds of hard jobs.
Yeah, I could now. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So what's the story with this one?
Yeah, this one, the black corners, I need to. This one of my it's a new design. Okay. Not the new design, but we need to cut the black corners to fit the out of the diamond.
And this is what is it? Onyx?
Onyx, black onyx, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So this again, you have to cut the middle out, do the faceting.
No, middle diamond is already cut one, and
no, but I mean just the middle of the onyx though to cut it out.
Yeah, middle of the onyx. Yeah, that's the hard. You can't keep the gap.
So, and then it has to fit perfectly into this hole.
Perfectly, yeah.
Wow. Wow. So, but yeah, you can see the final photo looks really good. It looks really nice, polished, smooth.
Yeah.
It's not scratchy or anything like that.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, that's hard. I don't think I would want to do that kind of job. That sounds really challenging.
Beginning, I thought also, but now I like to do challenge job. Here, I got a lot of challenge job.
Yeah, it seems like it. I mean, from the other gem cutters in London that I know, it seems like there must be a lot of this kind of strange work where it's not really faceting stones for luster. It's fitting them into a special shape.
Yeah.
And then what about this one?
This is also same with the sapphire. I need to cut all the sapphires to fit in.
Okay, so you can see them all fitting, all down here, all strange sizes.
Yeah.
And then putting them in. So did you have to sit with the jeweler and cut these one by one, or you just took the photos while she was setting them?
No, I had to cut few of them, and then after I had to send to setter, and then after I had to cooperate with the setter.
Okay.
To pick the job.
Okay. And then, but you can see when it's finished, it's pretty cool. Like it same as the last one. It fits perfectly in there. So did you have to make up a special cut for the facet pattern to go with the shape?
I think this one we cut a French cut, which is you can see the good, nice luster.
Yeah. And so like lots of like triangular facets.
Present, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, strange shapes. You can see the weird shapes, all these weird shapes. You have to. So did did she need very specific shapes, or these are just the shapes you decided to make? Like, could you have made some longer
No,
shapes?
I need to follow the design, so
Okay.
I need to get the shape according to the mount.
Okay. And so whenever they give you a job like this, do they draw a picture, or you have to figure it out from scratch?
No, they bring the mount,
Yeah.
and then after I have to cut for the mount.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that's again very tricky. It's almost like when they put the stones around the watch face.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like
correct.
this
Yeah,
twist
yeah.
style. And then what's this one all about? This is another onyx piece?
This is onyx piece. This is I have a check on online. This is popular symbol. I can't remember what symbol. If you go, it's a popular symbol for some kind of maybe
Yeah, like
group
Trojan.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
If you go
had to
Google, you can see.
but you had to cut this out very minutely. This is all one piece?
Yeah, this is all one piece. Has to be one piece.
Wow. And then is it on top of this, or it's inlaid inside of the metal right here?
Yeah, inside of the
So they're like
inside of the
so
black
this
onyx.
part's fitting into this hole. It's like a hole.
Yeah.
Wow. That's yeah, again, really
One piece of the black onyx. You have to fit all the metal.
okay. And then so once you cut it out and do everything perfect, then does it have to get polished in a certain way, or you just polish it like normal?
After finish, you have to carefully. You have to polish.
Okay, I see. And then this one is similar to the one we just saw, right? French cuts again.
Look, French cut. It was beautiful with the
Yeah.
French cut rather than step cut.
Yeah, you can see like lots of light, lots of color. That's nice. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, it looks like you've been doing a lot of different kind of interesting work to work with your customers in London and do some very specific designs and shapes and everything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a few more questions that have popped up. Let me read them real quick. So this is about cutting. They said when we cut the pavilion angles lower than the crown hold on, what does it say? Oh yeah, so when you cut the pavilion angle, I'm not sure if I understand this. I'll just read it. I think when you cut the pavilion angle lower than the crown's last angle, then you get a window, right?
Yeah.
But really, it doesn't have to do with the crown. It's about the angle of the stone, right? The angle that the stones need, not about the crown, but only in the pavilion side.
Yeah. What's the question? I can't understand.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but I think they're just asking what causes a window, basically, right? If it's too flat.
Basically, if you go, if you use free like my faceta, if you go lower than 38 degree, it will be open. It will be window.
Yeah. So basically this goes back to knowing your gem ID, right? If you have to know different stones can have different angles, right? Sapphire can be a little bit flat. Quartz has to be a little bit more deep.
Yeah.
So you need to know every stone has a different number that you can go to. So here's a question that I have. When you're doing the recut, if you know that maybe sapphire can be, I don't know, 36 degrees, but maybe you try to stay a few degrees more, a few degrees deeper, or do you try to stay away from that last angle that's going to, be right on the line between the window and the no window?
I try to. At that time, we need to keep on an eye for the weight also.
Yeah.
try to get the window, maximum window and no window, that's the last point.
Yeah. But I mean, do you actually think about the number? Like, are you thinking, okay, the critical angle of this stone is this number, so I must be a few degrees more?
No, there is, but I keep my eye for a last angle with the stone.
You just look at it. It's not about the number. You just look at it.
Look at it, yeah.
Okay. So does that mean, are you taking it off the dop all the time when you're cutting the pavilion to check, or?
No, I used to have one facetter, so I know if you go this much, it will be window.
Okay.
If you go this much, it will be window, no window.
Okay, I see. So it's just your experience is telling you as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. Somebody asked, do you ever use ceramic laps?
Ceramic lap?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is called, what is that? Skyway lap is ceramic.
Okay.
Yeah, this is ceramic lap.
Okay.
Good for emeralds.
Okay. So yeah, I know some people that I met, they're using all kinds of different laps, ceramic laps, and what about the plastic lap? What do you use the plastic lap for? Because I never got it to work.
Mostly plastic lap. I use zircon. Zircon hard to polish with the others.
Okay. And so what about quartz? Are you polishing quartz too? Amethyst and citrine?
Yeah, I use mostly tin lap for the quartz.
Tin lap. You use diamond powder, or are you using oxide?
Diamond powder. Diamond powder.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
For me, the quartz is like the worst. This is the one I really don't like to do unless I really have to.
It's a bit hard to polish. It's like a rubber.
Yeah. So then, if someone gives you quartz, then this is what I always wonder. It takes a little bit longer. It's harder to polish, but it's cheaper. So then, do you charge more or you charge less?
That's difficult. In here I can charge because here even quartz they will put up valuable jewelry. Okay. So I can charge here, but sometimes it will take more time more than to sapphire.
Yeah, exactly. Because every little scratch, it doesn't want to come out.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, what about for when you're weighing the stones, can you recommend a good scale? They want to have a good scale for the accurate weight. Do you have a special scale that you use for weighing?
Yeah, I use diamond scale to get even 1 point.
Okay. But any special brand? Can you show it to us? Maybe they can or is it a big one?
No, I use this one. Tanya. Yeah, this one.
Oh yeah, we have the same one.
Yeah, this is good for like a diamond scale.
Okay. Yeah, good. So between London and New York, was it pretty similar, like in terms of the kind of work you were doing, repairs and recuts, or is it much different?
London, New York, there is they all the repair job, lot of repair job in New York. When I used to work there, always repair job. Okay. But in here, I got a lot of new design.
Okay, so that's more fun, I think, for you, right?
Yeah. I got a month before one design, which is I don't want to mention the name, but the two company they refused to cut, and then I done the job. Okay, so you saved them. Yeah, they said I saved their life. Yeah, they was very happy. The first they came and asked, "Can you do?" I said, "Yes, I can." They were surprised. Then again they asking me, "Are you sure you can?" I say, "Yeah, I can." Yeah. And there is a lot of talent job here. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. And so I know from my time there, I know there's about maybe five gem cutters in London. Do you know them, or do you guys not really talk to each other too much? No, we know. I know each other. Yeah, we know. Okay. Yeah. But Shabir, yeah, he's a very good gentleman. Yeah. But do you guys feel like, is there some competition between you, or is there just enough work you don't really... To be honest, I don't have any competition for my work. Yeah. But yeah, there is no competition for my work. I got my own customers.
Okay. And what about the old guys that are using the hand crank machine? You ever meet them? They're doing like the old fashioned machines.
Who?
They're in what's the I think upstairs from Premier Jewelers, that red building that's at the beginning of Hatton Garden. Chaz Matthews.
Oh, Matthew. Yeah, they do her. Yeah.
Yeah. You never met those guys?
Once I met him, but I didn't met him long time ago.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Just curious. I spent some time there. They have some very, interesting machines, old-fashioned machines. So but I think maybe not so many people know them now. But yeah, they're doing also good work, good cutting. But I think you guys are in a different customers maybe. And
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I think Shabir as well, because Shabir is like the cheap guy. He's like the guy who's doing the fast 25 pounds of stone, just go quick,
Yeah.
fast, fast,
But
fast.
he got a good skill because he was in the trade more than I think 25 years.
Yeah, I
No.
know. He's
Yeah.
crazy, man. Like when I stayed in his office one day and he was just
Mm.
he's cutting a stone. Okay, cut another stone. Just wow. Okay, wow. You're just cutting a lot of
Yeah.
stones. But
Yeah.
but I think you're more focused on getting the good meat points, the good polish. He's just trying
Uh,
to get them done.
yeah. I need to finish my job perfect because I don't want to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what about Sri Lanka then? Do you ever go back, or do you only stay in London now?
Now I already set up here.
Yeah.
My,
But I mean,
my
even just to go home and visit family or anything, do you
yeah,
do?
yeah. I go and visit my family. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what about like an apprentice? Do you have a apprentice?
I'm going to start apprentice. I advertise. Unfortunately, it was just lockdown before. It
Yeah.
didn't work. I advertised in April of last year. At the
Okay.
same time, I want to train. I'm going
Okay.
to start to train. I train my son. I can show you one, two stone. My son, he got a good skill.
Okay.
See, this is my son cut this stone.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah. It's got a good luster. You can see it even in the camera. It's shining
Yeah,
bright.
right. Yeah, and this one also my son. I just train him, but he got a good skill, but they don't want to carry on.
Wow. How old is he?
22.
22. So he's the perfect
Yeah.
age. He doesn't want to do it. What does he want to do?
That's why I try, but they like come to the things.
Okay. Since we're on here, so basically, if there is a young cutter in somewhere in England and they want to do the apprenticeship, they can contact you. You're looking
Yeah,
for somebody.
yeah, yeah. It's a
Okay.
good opportunity because here there is no stone polishers here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And there's work, right? I mean, if someone comes, they're
it
gonna
will
get
work.
paid.
Yeah, there is a lot of jewelers here. A
Okay.
lot of individual jewelers. They need to get the stone done.
Yeah.
Now basically now after Brexit they need to do it here because if they go to German or out of Europe they have to pay custom and
Oh
I
wow.
think
So it's
now we need to hear some good stone polisher.
wow. Okay. So I didn't think about this, but Brexit's changed things a little bit.
Yeah, but before they go to German, where's the call, I can't remember the name
Yeah,
called
like,
in German.
Idar Oberstein.
That's the place. Yeah, that's the place they always send to do the different shape or cutting.
Okay.
But now I think it's difficult because they have to go through the custom. Because
Yeah.
now we separate after Brexit.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's why
So
I want to start to train few young people.
yeah. Okay. And it looks like you have enough machines. You could have 2 or 3 cutters in there. But I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and one other person at least.
Mm.
So what do you think? If someone comes to you and they really are serious, they want to do it, how long do you think it will take them to become good enough?
Yeah, good enough. At least we need to go 3 months.
3 months. Okay, yeah.
Mm.
I was always thinking maybe like 6 months if you know nothing on the Sri Lankan machine. Maybe in 6 months you can do every type of design, every style, get some
If you
experience.
got a skill, yes. If you got a skill, you can. Yeah, like me. Beginning, I didn't thought I want to do the stone polish or laboratories, but I had a skill.
Yeah.
So that's why I can get the all challenge job.
Okay.
You have to be a skill.
Okay. And so then if somebody comes and learns with you, then they can work with you for a long time. It's like it's going to be a long-term job.
if someone
mean-
want to train, so I think I can train within 3 months to get the
Yeah.
basic and get the stone to done
Yeah.
with the responsibility.
But I mean, then you think you want to hire them to work in your studio, or you have to see
Yeah,
if
it depends.
if you get along, of course.
Yeah, you mean to hire here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I want to get someone here.
Yeah. Okay. Because I know you told.
I advertised maybe since 4 years. I didn't get any stone polisher.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because I know you told me before you were so busy that you needed a help.
Help, yeah.
Yeah. So that's I don't know. It's amazing in a whole country of people that you can't find a person, because I think there's so many people that would like to be a gem cutter. I'm gonna keep asking people I know, are you sure you don't know anybody? Because I met a lot of gem cutters in England, but they're not in London. They're like, they're up in the Midlands and stuff.
Midland, but they do at home. But I think when I get my advanced cutter, I was the I can't remember, maybe 10th or 12th.
Okay. Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
master cutter, there is a five people here.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe they don't, maybe they don't want to move to London, or they already have a job or something like that. But there must be some young person, who's in school right now. Well, hopefully if they're watching this or they see this on YouTube, they can find you.
Okay, yeah.
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 Okay, here, a few more questions from the audience. Martin Kovacic asked, what type of gold purity do people in London like for their jewelry, like your customers and stuff? Are they using like 18K?
They mostly do 18 karat, yeah.
18 karat. Okay, interesting.
And platinum, yeah.
Yeah, and platinum. Okay. Because I know
Platinum, yeah.
here in Bangkok, people are doing, well, it depends, but sometimes even 9K, 14K. Some people even do 24K, like for Chinese customers.
Mostly here 18 white and gold.
Okay, 18.
Yellow.
Interesting. Yeah. And then what about like new trends? What are you seeing from the gem cutting side? What are people asking for? Different. I mean, obviously you showed us several different inlays, but do you see some trends from being in London, like new styles, new popular requests?
You mean from that design, or I didn't get your point.
Or for cutting, for design, anything, yeah.
Yeah, but in what I feel in here, if I make a new design, there's not much customer for new design.
Okay.
But they like a traditional cut in London or UK.
So basically, either if you're going to cut a stone and sell it, you do a traditional design. But if a jeweler asks you,
then do the that's
custom
correct.
Yeah. Okay. So there's still a lot of demand for the classic cutting as well.
Classic,
like, I mean, if you're just going to sell a stone without a design, you do the classics cuts.
Classics, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And okay, somebody asked about redopping. So like when you're doing the recutting, how do you actually put the stone onto the dop to get it ready for recutting?
Yeah, I got a wax, special wax from Sri Lanka. I bring all the stuff from Sri Lanka.
Okay.
So I need to use that wax. But if you use for emerald, you have to be very carefully, because emerald and tanzanite you can't hit.
Yeah.
So sometimes I use some super glue.
Okay. But then when you actually set it up and do you line it up on the table, or you line it up on the pavilion side to get the starting facets?
Starting, I got my eye level to get the
just by eye. You just set it up by
eye. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And so, okay, here's a question for me, because I always love to ask this. Do you like to do the crown first or the pavilion side first?
I do always crown first.
Okay. Is everyone in Sri Lanka doing crown first, or this is just...
Mostly we learn crown first, but I try to do pavilion first, but it didn't work for me. Yeah. I know some people, they start pavilion. I don't know why, because if you want to keep the weight and color, so better to, but you have to freeform first, and then after better to start crown side, isn't it? then we know we have a chance to get the luster in a second step.
Yeah, yeah. But really, I mean, it all comes down to the preforming, right? If you don't do the preforming right, it fails.
Yeah, it's well. You have to do freeform.
Because you need the height. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is one thing, because a lot of people are making a debate: crown first better or pavilion first better. But I think what people are forgetting a lot is you have to measure your preform. You have to make sure that you're deep enough. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. You make a flat crown or you make a flat pavilion, but it's not a good looking stone. You need balance, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think? If the crown is too flat, is that making the stone look bad as well? Like if it's a really shallow crown?
You can't do shallow crown. You can't do creep down. You have to be a balance.
Yeah. Okay. So everything is balance.
Balance. Otherwise,
crown,
if you put a big crown, you
can't fit it in the setting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So, this is a great question from the audience. Mohammed Minshef asked, he wants to learn gem cutting, but he has no experience. So what is the first step he should take to learn?
If they want to study for gem training, first step, you need to know how to freeform. But before freeform, you have to. I need to let them, to study the rough stones. First, you need to know how the rough stones.
Okay, so you learn the shapes, you learn the crystal structures.
Example, if you want to learn someone for cutting, and so we need to teach for preform, which is you have to know inclusion. Where is the inclusion? We need to get the maximum color, maximum weight, as much as clean stone. So that's how for beginning.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to. I had a question in my mind, but then it just went out. Now I forgot what I was going to ask. But so if you're going to teach someone new, is that how you'll start? You'll teach them about the crystal, teach them about the preforming, and then do you think people need to learn all the different shapes, different cutting styles, or that will come later?
That one come later. First, you have to know how to sew in and how to preform, and then after you know how to balance the facet, and then they will be free to study shape.
Yeah. Okay. And so for you in the preforming, when we're talking about preforming, let's say a cushion or the perfect oval shape, how long did it take you to become good at doing that? Because I think for a lot of people, it's really hard to make the perfect shape.
If it is valuable stone, you have to study. Yeah. Even sometimes I will get the 2-3 days to study, because sometime I will be confused. I will keep the stone somewhere, and next day I will look again. And if it is valuable stone, you have to study. If you get a small mistake, you will lose all the. Yeah. Sometimes I got here some valuable stone too, but it's not good luster. Yeah. So they asked me to get a good luster, so I have to study sometime, peaceful mind.
Yeah. So when you're doing your preforming, do you preform it on the faceting machine, or you preform on a different machine?
Valuable stones, I've always preformed with the Imashi machine with the 600 weight.
Okay. But just like freehand?
Freehand, yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't know, maybe if you're using one that's turning this way.
I got that machine, but if you got cheap stone, I will use that machine.
Okay. You think you're more careful on the Imashi?
Imashi for valuable stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about cabs? We didn't speak about cabs, but do you cut cabochons as well, or?
Yeah, I do cab. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have to charge a different price for cabs? Is it cheaper or?
Yeah, it's some cab Sapphire. It will be the same, but a lot of cheap cab. I won't charge that much. Yeah, but still I do cab. Okay. I can't refuse, because I don't like to do cab, but I can't refuse as my customer. I need to do them.
Yeah. Okay. I see. And then, what was I just going to ask you about? Oh gosh, I don't know. Well, somebody asked, how can they improve their speed if they want to become a faster cutter? What do you think? How can you get faster?
Why you want to make fast? I mean, to produce 100 stone for a day, 200 stone.
Yeah, I guess so. Or maybe just 2 instead of 1.
I don't advise to pass unless if you want to pass like cheap stones, like a big workshop, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you are single stone polisher, you have to think about the stone, not the past.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe some people are taking like 3 days to cut 1 stone, and they could do it in maybe 6 hours. So then, do you think there is something about your laps? Do you have to have the laps set up?
By experience, isn't it? By experience, sometimes, I do some valuable stone, but if I'm comfortable, I can do within, it will take 6 hours, but I can do 3 hours because I'm comfortable with the material,
Yeah.
with the stone.
Okay. Oh, I remember the question I wanted to ask you, because you said peaceful mind, and that was making me think about, when you're actually sitting down at the machine, faceting the stone, what are you thinking about at that time?
Yeah, you have to be a peaceful mind.
Yeah.
I have experienced one time, one customer, they gave me 10 carat 50 something stone. They want to get the over 10 carat.
So half a carat to lose.
Half a carat loose. I did a mistake. It came 9.99.
Oh.
Yeah, because my mind was somewhere.
Yeah.
It cannot be. You have to be with the stone.
Yeah.
That was big, but the customer was happy. I didn't charge from the customer. He said, no, you have to charge. The stone was beautiful. One point is doesn't matter. He paid me, but that time I don't want to charge because my responsibility is to get the over 10 carat. But I use the new wheel, which is cast iron.
Yeah.
But cast iron lap is eat too much.
Okay.
So that's how I learned 1 point. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to be peaceful. You have to be a concentration with the material.
Yeah. So then, since you're in the middle of London, in the middle of Hatton Garden, is it easy to be peaceful? I mean, there are people coming in your shop sometimes and bothering you, or is it?
Yeah, mostly I start after 5 o'clock because during I'm open my shop 11 o'clock because I used to work in late night. After 5 o'clock, I have time to work.
Okay, so you're mostly in the nighttime.
Nighttime because of the customers, to keep coming customers until 5 o'clock.
Okay, so in the daytime you just take in stones, you send out the stones.
I do some work, but not like after 5, which is a good time.
Okay, interesting. So okay, so you really have to make a special time to be peaceful, otherwise you might make.
Otherwise, it's difficult to work.
So then, what happens if a stone gets broken? Is it whose responsibility is it?
Stone can be break, but for me, lucky wood touch. I didn't have anything happen because it's responsibility for myself.
Okay.
You can see if it is break before start.
Yeah.
If sometime I got the stones, it can be damaged. Then I will explain to customer. I will say this is bit risky. Example, emerald. Some crack can be
like they can come out
damaged. Yeah. So I will explain. Then they will say, okay, don't worry, Kaneel, take the doesn't matter responsibility. You can carry on. But so far, I don't have that much bad experience unless what I told you 1 point.
Yeah, 1 point. That's not that bad, really. 1 point on 10 carats. Okay.
Yeah,
pretty good.
But still, I was worried at that day. I didn't work afterward. I was shocked. Then I stop my clothes and I go home because it was a big mistake for me.
Okay. That's not the worst. I've heard much worse stories than that, so that's okay. You never broke a stone, so that's okay.
No, honestly, I don't have that bad reputation here. Yeah, because I when I work in New York, I remember still I start Tanzanite and I don't know about Tanzanite. That's how I learned Tanzanite when I was in New York. I cut few Tanzanite and one is broken, and then I was surprised how it's broken by heat, but I didn't know. I just heat to drop in as same as other stones.
Yeah. Okay.
And luckily, those days it was 19 something.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not that expensive. They say okay. They didn't say anything, but
Yeah.
now I know any kind of stone how much heat.
Yeah. You got to be.
Even tourmaline, even some tourmaline you can see you can't heat up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Gary Fletcher in the audience asked, "What's the smallest stone that you will cut?"
Oh, I cut. You can't believe some. I can't 0.3, 0.2.
Wow. Okay. To fit into the special setting.
I can show you some small dot. I got a small dot.
Okay. Well, and let's go. I want to bring one photo back just to because we're talking about small stones. How big were? Hold on, let me bring it up. How big were these ones? These are very small,
This
right?
one is not. It's like a 2.6 something. I'm
Okay.
talking about. I cut some round stone 0.03.
So that's like just the corner of this stone, basically. It's tiny.
Yeah, this is only 2 and 2.5 millimeter.
Oh, that's good. You know, in Bangkok, if you want to go under 3 mm, there's no cutter that will do it. 3 mm is the smallest size.
Really?
Yeah, the factories that I work with, if you ask them to do the small stone, they want to
Mm-hmm.
charge you like triple price because they don't
Yeah,
like.
even here, sometimes I do small stones, like 5.01, 5 point. I don't know how they use for some jewelry.
Yeah,
I have to charge because it takes long time.
yeah. So then, if you're doing a tiny stone like that, then you also have a special price. You can't just charge by 1 hour or something.
Yeah, I can charge because no one does here
Yeah.
that much smaller.
Okay. So you have
Yeah.
you're like the special skill guy for that small stones.
As I told you, I like challenge job.
Yeah.
I
But
have a
maybe
good.
not every maybe not
I have
every
a
day.
customer for create design customers.
Okay. And so, okay, so somebody has just asked, how do they prevent the tourmaline from cracking? I'm guessing they're speaking about maybe Afghan tourmaline. You know, sometimes you're just getting the small crack for no
Yeah,
reason.
some tourmaline, if you hit, you can get a crack.
Yeah.
You have to be carefully. Same tourmaline, it's depend on the mining. I think if you got a tourmaline from Brazil, it's okay. If you got some African tourmaline, can be damaged.
Yeah.
Can be hit. Yeah, by heat you can damage.
Well, I know even sometimes, tourmaline from Afghanistan, for me, this is the one that is the worst because it's not even from the heat. Sometimes it's just from the stress. You just start to cut, you hear the sound.
Yeah, yeah. We have to be very carefully. Some tourmaline. Yeah.
So, but do you have a special technique other than don't get it too hot?
You mean tourmaline? When you see the material, you can feel this will be fragile, or you can. This is same hardness,
Okay.
but some tourmaline, even peridot, some peridot, you can't hit, or you can't.
Yeah.
You have to be very carefully.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so another good question. So Martin Kovacic asked, "Tell us about your most memorable sapphire. Your favorite sapphire that you ever cut. What is
Oh,
about?"
recently I cut 37 carat nice blue sapphire.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I didn't have a time to send you a picture.
Okay.
37 carat good stuff sapphire.
Wow.
It was dark, bit dark. It's a big company in here, Bond Street.
Okay.
They want to get the luster.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it was
I did.
it was a recut.
Yeah, I just want to refacet the bottom side, which
Okay.
is pavilion. Then I did refacet the pavilion. It came out good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I cut a lot of expensive stones.
So what do you think you cut the most? You cut more sapphires than anything, or?
Uh, I didn't count. But mostly sapphires. Yeah, we got sapphires and tanzanite, emerald.
Okay. Because I know here, I look a lot at what Sareth is cutting here, and he's cutting a lot of big tourmalines,
Mm-hmm.
some emeralds, some sapphires, but I think he does a lot of tourmalines. So many big, beautiful tourmalines in Bangkok. I don't know who's his customer, but he shows me sometimes the preforms, the cutting. He's doing the big stones as well. So I think both of
Mm-hmm.
you. So I have a question about you and Sarah. When you guys were working together in the studio, you guys both already knew how to cut. You didn't learn from each other, or he already knew, you
At
already
that
knew.
time, even Sarat, I think we learned from the Joaquin, from the Russian.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do lot of good faceting. So we
Okay.
learn a lot from him.
Okay. I see. Yeah, because I know it seems like you guys must have been on, maybe because you both worked with those guys and maybe you saw the standards getting higher. Because it seems like both of you
Yeah,
guys have gone on
yeah.
similar paths. You know, you're both cutting very, very nice, really perfect stones, beautiful big stones,
Mm.
and people trust you with the big stones. I mean, I see from you, I see from him. He's like the master of big stones in Bangkok. You know, you have a 30
Yeah,
carat stone,
okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, good to
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
you talk to
yeah.
Sareth because he's the guy.
Mm.
Um, okay, somebody asked, what about zoltanite? Have you ever cut any zoltanite before? Uh,
I remember I cut one stone, but not here. I didn't get anything.
okay, so no tips. He was wondering if you have any tips for cutting it, but
What is the hardness? I can't remember the hardness of the sornite.
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I know usually
Yeah.
it's about the cleavage. So, the it has a like kunzite. It has cleavage in three ways. So then you have to be
Three way.
very,
Then you have to be like a kunzite. You have to make a slow speed,
yeah.
and yeah, you have to
That
be
one
very
it's
carefully.
it's kind of about the preforming too, right? You have to put the table in the right spot
Right.
and
Yeah.
not go too rough on the laps. Yeah.
No, you have to. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to ask. Is there anything else that you wanted to say, or anything else that we should talk about before the end?
What do you want to?
Well, did we say everything that we meant to say today? Did you have anything else to say? Any stories you
About
wanted?
the cutting?
Yeah.
About the cutting, all I can say, for a beginning, if they from the freeform, if they apply nice facet rather than recutting,
Mm-hmm.
which is saleable.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Sri Lankan, they try to keep the weight. At that time, if they think about the weight, but if they make a nice facet, it's saleable and you can get the better price than
Okay.
weight.
So
Example, if you get a 5 carat stone for 500 pound, you can sell 400 carat good stone 1,000 pounds.
okay.
So
So it's better to go for
weight is not weight is important, but not for the bad cutting.
right. So so there's a balance, but the balance can also be losing some weight to get some beauty. The price can go up that way.
Yeah, stone has to be a beauty. Jewelry is beautiful of the
Yeah.
jewelry, so have to be a good luster, not just the stone.
Yeah. Okay. Some more questions have popped up. So well, he said, what's the highest sanding lap you use? But maybe I'll change the question to what cutting laps do you use generally, like for the cutting steps?
Cutting step, it depends of the stones, but normally I use 600. If I for emerald, I use 1,200
Okay.
for emerald, or sometimes I use 300 mask for the emerald, because the emerald can be damaged anytime, and you have to put a speed control. You can't go normal speed.
So you got to go slow.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also polishing, you have to be carefully with the polishing. If you put diamond powder, or some people they use what that chromium powder can go inside.
Yeah.
So have to be carefully with the
So
polishing.
for the machines that you have, is there speed control or it's just one speed or two
No,
speeds?
there is a two speed, but now I got an original machine which is those they don't put a speed control, but now we can do speed control. But I got a two speed for
Okay.
emerald. I put a small speed and
So you just
some big.
have
Yeah,
to change the belt to the other gear.
belt. Yeah, belt. Yeah, and
Okay.
even recently I learned if you got more speed, sometimes even sapphire can be damaged.
Okay. Good to know. And so on your handpiece, Does it have just what are the angles? Um, just whole numbers, or there's half numbers or decimal numbers for your angles?
For
Like
facet,
on the handpiece.
yeah, handpiece. We got angle degrees.
Yeah, but it's just in whole numbers, right? Like 45,
Yeah,
46, 47.
that's correct. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no like 46.5,
No, no,
nothing. So you
no.
just have to, you're just looking at the meet points and making the
Make
adjustment.
it, yeah, yeah. You have to come
Yeah, okay.
think about your my.
Yeah. So I think you're doing the same as me. When you go into the polishing, you can adjust a lot in the last step of polishing. If you need to make the facet taller or maybe make it wider, you just
Yeah.
change the height of the plate.
Higher with the facet with the machine. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So yeah. Cool. Well, I think that we have said everything. We've heard some good stories. We've seen all of your
Okay.
your studio and learned a little bit about the life of what is it like to be a professional gem cutter
Mm.
in London and in New York and in Sri Lanka. You think you're gonna be in London forever, or will eventually you try to?
Uh, I think yeah, I can't leave because I have a lot of regular customer.
Okay, so
Even
you're set.
pandemic time, I want to stop my work, but I couldn't stop my work because
Wow.
they need me.
That's a good thing. That's a
Yeah, I do stone selling.
okay.
I can make a more money selling stones,
Yeah.
but I don't have time to do my selling because I have a lot of good stuff, but because
Gotta
of
cut.
cutting, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have time to go and selling.
Okay. Well, Kaneel, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to hear from you and to, get your story, get it on record. You're the first Sri Lankan that I've talked to on the whole series, so I'm happy to understand a little bit more about, what is it like in Sri Lanka, but also what is it like in London? Because I always have loved London. That's a place I always wanted to live. So you did my dream already.
Most welcome if you have time. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll definitely I'll come back soon. Once the borders are open again and the quarantine is gone, yeah, I'll come back. I want to come. So, and for anybody that wants to follow Kaneel, he's on Instagram, or if you want to contact him on his website. If there's anybody out there who wants to be a gem cutter in London, he's looking for an apprentice. So I'm just gonna keep telling everybody I know in England, Kaneel is looking for an apprentice. So maybe you'll find one. If you find one through me,
yeah.
then you have to give me 5%. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
No, just kidding. That'll be a gift. That'll be a
I
gift.
know,
As a
I know.
thank you for your time. I'll try to find you.
Thank you very much, Justin, and to invite me to for your conversation.
No, it was great. I
And
appreciate the time coming in on the Sunday. I know you're not usually coming into office on Sunday, so
Sunday now.
I appreciate it to show us all the good stuff.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Thank
I'll
you very
see
much, Justin.
you after the COVID. I will come and say hi in person.
Yes, okay. Bye.
Okay, see you later.
See you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.